Hiyo! I'm Doll Insanity, but for the sake of our sanity, you can call me Sin. And this is my first doll video. I've been wanting to make videos for a while, I just didn't have the opportunity in the last place I lived, but now that I have my own place, I can do whatever I want. So, what's RWBY? RWBY is what I'd classify as a young adult animated series. It is directed by Monty and produced by Rooster Teeth. It follows 4 girls as they become huntresses who fight monsters of the world of Remnant called Grimm. The 4 girls are RWBY, Weiss, Blake, and Yang. As you can see on the screen, I should be putting in some footage. I've already made Yang. I did that at my old place. I do have some footage of her progress on Instagram, and I will put the link in the description below. The character we're working on today is Weiss Schnee. Weiss has one of the best character arcs I've seen in a show for a long time. And I don't want to say too much because I really don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it yet. Weiss does start as that stereotypical rich and bratty anime girl, but as she finds her own inner strength, and kind of quite literally in one scene, she slowly takes control of her own life and becomes a much more interesting character. I really like her character design, and I actually did really like that from the start of the show. She looks very prim and proper. She doesn't have a lot to her like the other characters. She's a very one color palette. But the things that stood out to me was the scar that's on her cheek or her eye, and the red that popped out from the white of her outfit. And it just gave the suggestion that there was more to her than we were seeing at that moment. Anyway, now that you know a little bit of backstory about the character, let's get on to the doll. So, I decided to use the Disney Descendants dolls for this project since their eye area is very flat and makes it a lot easier, in my opinion, to make the shape of the more anime silhouette that they have to their faces. I got this Mal doll off eBay for about $3, I believe, not counting the shipping, which I think put her up to being $5. Her lips were kind of wonky, and I felt like she was a good candidate for a custom. So I'm gonna go ahead and get her hair cut off and get her head soaking so I can prep her for her repaint and reroot, and then we'll take a look at my fabric bin and see what we can find for her. Alright, so welcome to my extremely messy fabric bin. I kind of been gathering fabric for a lot of ideas I have, and then just some fabric I think is cool, like that shiny blue fabric you see in the background. If anyone has a good idea for that, let me know. I have a lot of it, and I don't know what to do with it. So I have some red fabrics, a couple different ones. I decided to just go with the straight red fabric because that's more accurate to how she looks in the show. And I have this big chunk of white fabric which I bought from Walmart for like $3 that was on clearance. I'm also getting out some tulle because I do want to make her at least a thin petticoat to put underneath her skirt so that way it has a little bit more lift. Alright, so Mal's pretty much good to go. Her head's pretty soft right now, I just checked it before I turned the camera back on. And I wanted to show you the hair I bought her real quick. So I actually bought hair extensions. These are from Map of Beauty on Amazon. They're about $5 a piece. The quality isn't as good as actual doll hair, but it's what I could afford at the time, and I've been working with it for a couple years now, so it's okay. It will do the job for this particular custom. The only issue I do have with this hair extension hair, I'm not sure what it's made out of. I believe it's like nylon and Canterlon. But it is very thick, which can cause the doll's head to be a little bit too heavy. but it does have a really good color to it. It's very white. I had a lot of trouble finding a pure white that wasn't kind of gray, so I think it's gonna work just fine. Alright, and just a quick shot. I just finished pulling her hair out. Don't mind the sock, I just needed something to keep my table from getting soaking wet, and I couldn't find a washcloth. But I've gotten pretty much all the hair out. There's still a little bit in there that I'm going to fight with. But next I'm going to pretty much just get ready to remove her paint. There she is. She's all cleaned off. Her face isn't focusing very well in the camera anymore. And there's a little bit of purple that just didn't really want to come off well. But it's not enough that I'm really concerned about it. Her head's still a little bit soft, so I'm probably going to hop into rooting her pretty soon. I'm going to put it back in the hot water after I'm done with this clip, just so that way she doesn't get really firm, because the Disney Descendant heads are a lot harder when they're cool, so I don't want to break off too many needles. Alright, so welcome back to the new year. I actually got really sick right when I was working on this video. I came down with the flu and I was sick for about a month. My voice was out of whack for quite a while and I had a bad cough. So the progress has jumped a little bit. I have started the face up, which I think is going really well. It has really made me want to redo Yang, but I am really happy with things, how they're going so far. I'm actually getting ready to put a new coat of MSC on her, and then I'll jump back to her once I do a little bit more progress. Is I did finish her outfit. The pin's just there because I'm trying to get her belt to lay down. I'm probably going to have to put a stitch into it. But I did finish it. I don't like some aspects of it, and plus the white fabric has picked up everything, but I really don't like the collar. I wished it looked a little bit better. I don't think it's going to be as visible once her head's back on her body. And I did have to sew up the back a little bit. I couldn't get it to stay quite right without doing so. But again, like Yang, that doesn't really bother me. And I'm still waiting for her shoes in the mail. She does have a petticoat. It's a pretty thin one. I didn't feel like I really needed a lot. The dress held its shape on its own, actually, quite well. So, yeah. I'm gonna continue working on the face up, and I'll check back in as soon as I make more progress. So here's a quick update. I've kind of started filling in the black and kind of added some pastels to her cheek. I'm still kind of new to the customs and the face ups, so I've had a lot of issue. Mine still look kind of messy. They're getting better each time though, so I'll be back with another update. And here she is. So I did change my concept in a couple places. I didn't film the boots because I actually didn't realize I was making the boots until I was making the boots. I used a pair of Wonder Woman from DC Superhero Girls to make her boots because I realized that the boots that I ordered really weren't accurate. I also styled her hair off camera because there was no way I could hold my phone and the hair straightener at the same time. Her bangs still don't really want to sit down, but I fought with them for about 2 hours, and I'm happy enough with them how they're sitting that I'm not gonna fight with it any longer. I'll probably come back to it when I'm working on some other dolls and try giving it a couple more rinses of hot water to try to get it to sit down. And I'm going to put some photos in just because my camera doesn't like to stay focused. But that was pretty much my custom. I know this video didn't really show off everything like some other YouTubers are able to. I'm going to try to get a tripod soon, so that way I can do a better job with the filming. But this is what I can do for the moment, and I just kind of wanted to show her off. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all later.